Welcome back here, folks. Tom and Ryan getting ready for game number 4 here of the Summer Console League Finals.
Actually, just game 3. It's been that quick.
Oh, yeah, actually, yeah. It has been very fast.
It's been a long day. Don't worry.
Well, we might see a game 4.
Might.
You guys don't think so. 66% think that AstralAuthority will go ahead and take this one. The remaining third, think it's RvL.
34%. There is what it said. Just so you I know you couldn't do the check thing while you were on camera, so I was gonna help you out.
66 is 2/3 of 100. Game 3 is on the way. We're oiled up and ready to go. RvL, Astral, game 3.
Thanks, Tom and Agro, for the quick math. Apparently,
it's actually 66.6 repeating.
Yeah, good job checking them on that one. Very confusing, but thank you on the desk as we move into could potentially be our last game as Astral are indeed on tournament point. And Toli, one of our great backstage production members, made me some raspberry tea. I'm in my happy place right now.
Nice.
Maybe someone needs to do that same thing for RvL and get them to their happy place.
They need it.
Been having a rough time of it. Even with Predators having a more even and consistent game, they still could not quite find the answer.
I think that they need to go through a spiritual journey sometime after this one, whether they win or lose, because it's been a long day. And the way teams practice is not normally for days like this, to be able to have to battle through so many games. Normally, you play a couple games of ranked here, a couple of games of ranked there, but also when you scrim, you're playing like maybe 2 to 3 games tops against another team, and then you call it a day. But I think these teams, if you're playing for the championships here, for the SCL, SPL, expect a bracket reset with this new format and start playing for more than just that one best of 3.
Even if it's just maybe a 1 or 2 times where you sort of put yourself through those paces, right, of playing that many matches in a row. I'm not saying you got to do it every day for like 2 weeks, but just a couple times. Get yourself used to playing that many matches, to having to dig deep and find some different strategies, just seeing what it's like so that it's not so much of a shock if you get here, if it is for these players, as Astral appear to have acclimated to the situation and look very strong.
To be fair, they have the momentum going from a victory over Flashpoint. Maybe that's what it all took. The fact that they had that fire under themselves, they had that synergy. RvL having to go into the very first set cold, and then they could never find their footing. Their one victory over AstralAuthority was the result of the overextension from the North Americans, where they were trying to make too much happen at the same time.
It really was the only game that we've seen Astral sort of overstep, I feel like, was that game they lost, or at least overstep routinely, as Layers could be in trouble. A collapse is on. Rapio's here. Predator's more concerned with the buff, though, than looking for really any poke attempt. Hammer comes through, but Predators and Rapio secure the farm.
Not really too much action to dual lane, but the Torch Coast is going to dash in, trying to get some more damage numbers to be able to stack that Xbalanque passive.
Pull off the mark, but Toli, you highlighted on what I think is a really important point. The only time that we've seen Astral be consistently slipping is the game where RvL punished them. And the reason that's important is because I know RvL are struggling now. They've lost, what, 5 of the last 6 matches. But if you slip on them, they will punish you for it. They proved that before the bracket got reset. So Astral have to remain on their game to close this out. If they want to close out right here, right now, with this 3rd win, they have a chance to take it all.
And the thing was, RvL won the 2-0 yesterday over AstralAuthority. Now, granted, the first game was a little suspicious, where it was a Loki solo lane and then another unconventional pick that didn't really work out for Astral, and that with that one game momentum swing, RvL really took it to the bank, forcing Astral to go through the lower bracket, but momentum has been on the North American side the entire day.
That's also true. Every time RvL's won, it's really kind of been all at once, right? They got the big lead at that first game against Astral yesterday, and they really, Astral were never in it. And then in the second game, the big pentakill from Vaporish Coast in that one big sweeping motion, they win that game when it was very close. Even the one game they won in the previous set earlier today was a big kind of sweeping victory all at once. Astral, or rather RvL, have not been able to grind out a win over Astral yet.
Not quite yet, but this could be the first step required, because RvL, they need to win 3 in a row.
Tough.
It is a very difficult task to accomplish. Rapio looking for the first play.
This is going to be tough, though, underneath the Tier 1 tower. Beads to avoid the knockup. Apple off the mark as well. oBoronic survives, and now Layers here. Hammer and Wall all off the mark. He's got to come back towards Fly, who's still aggressive. Berserker Barrage not going to be enough, and Fly gets out.
Still looking for the counter aggression. I like this. The fact that Layers still made his presence felt With the level 4 not having the Anvil of Dawn, but having the recognition necessary to still just thwart Rapio away, allow oBoronic to still get the experience he desperately needs. Because even though that wasn't a kill onto oBoronic, if Layers wasn't there, then oBoronic has to back. He can't defend 1v2 his tower, so he's going to lose all that golden experience. So at least Layers keeps it still in oBoronic's favor.
Just does everything he can to try and help out his mid laner, who is being quick on the beats, is able to survive the aggression coming out from Rapio. Oftentimes, that early gank that the Ratatoskers look for can be so important for them. But this first one, not successful for Rapio. We'll see what Layers does with his ultimate now that he just took over level 5.
Well, the thing was, he still at least forced out the purification beats from oBoronic, so there could always be that secondary attempt. They threw the Cosmos, coming up in about 30 to 45 seconds. Not too far away to make a play, but speaking of plays, it's Wolves getting the slight better edge over Predators yet again. Not with a kill, but just with a health advantage.
That's right. It looks like he's winning the boxing match, but at the very least, Predator's still relevant. Gotta be careful, though. Might not recognize Layers is very nearby if they want to look for it. He's coming in aggressively, has those chains. Rapio here as well to keep things even as Predators has to fall back.
Layers not going to commit with Rapio right around the corner. Both junglers with global ultimates ready and willing. Blue buff will get secured from Rapio, and Inbound was just 2 seconds too short.
Not going to be able to punish, though, not in terms of kills or in terms of stripping away the farm. But Astral, yet again, have a deep ward now on the rival side of the jungle so that they have vision whenever any action might break out. They do have to fall back, though. Can't find anything more. And this is one of the closest matches between Predators and Wolves we've seen. And there really hasn't been much influence from these junglers. This time, Predators on the Cucullin is standing even with Wolves.
Well, not finding the blue buff steal, but at least having the timer necessary so they understand that it's going to respawn in the next 2 minutes. So AstralAuthority could look for that play if Wolves continues to be this big lane bully that has been proven the entire day.
And what does Predators need to do here totally? Because Astral have shown they're willing to commit 4 people to like a buff invade or to these rotations over here. I mean, now that they have that information, I mean, does Predators have to play this different?
He absolutely does. The way you play the laning phase against the Osiris is you can't allow yourself to get constantly basic attack for free. You have to look to clear the wave, but then back. But if you're getting tethered, your Barbed Spear Salmon Leaf combination deals less damage just off of the tether alone. So you're not supposed to deal damage to Wolves. You're not supposed to deal damage to the wave. You kind of have to wait that one out. So you have to do a little bit of a bait and switch. You either Salmon Leaf to the archers while also hitting the Osiris, group up the wave, and then clear.
The Ohm coming out from Inbound too strong as he ends up bumping into Rapio in the jungle. DineOhSaw lands the root, but they don't want anything more. The rest of RvL going to find an escape path, but up in the air is Layers. It looks like Astral actually do want to fight. Dunk hits no one. Wrath of Terra on top of those Dharmic Pillars in trouble, and DineOhSaw falls to Layers, but Rapio right there to return the favor.
oBoronic finding the stun onto Rapio, but not really having the mana to follow up after that one. Final Judgment was used earlier. A 1-for-1 jungler for support. Rival getting the better end of this deal.
Ends up working out in their favor. Able to make sure they take down Layers, but again, on the other side, DineOhSaw did end up taking a tumble in favor of AstralAuthority, so they're still doing all right. That first blood did end up going over to Layers in the end. Unfortunately, he took a spell right afterwards, but Astral, again, are the aggressors, it feels.
The gold bounty is nice for Layers, but not being able to farm for extra experience is where Rapio is going to start extending his lead.
Oh, yeah.
The respawn timer, not too long at this stage of the game, but it's still just enough to get about a half a level lead and maybe be the first one to win that level 12 race.
No, I'm right there with you. Whenever you're able to freely farm, not only because you're farming and they're not, but you're not worried like, oh, do I need to rotate to equalize their pressure? You're just freely able to go exactly where you want to go on the map. And that's that sort of brief window that Rapio was able to just now enjoy as Wolves looks like it's going to be sent back to base. Doves have teleport, won't be a big deal. As Rapio continues to aggress on
speed
Layers.
buff. Speed buff onto Rapio. No speed buff for Layers. Taking a lot of damage,
stun,
but no stun. That stun would have applied at least 1, maybe 2 more basic attacks, but looking for these back camps. And Rapio is getting the better end of this deal. Yet again, Layers forced to back.
That could have definitely been trouble because Layers didn't have their purification beads in that situation either, so I agree with you. Definitely a chance to find something there, but Rapio's not done yet. Wants to come find Wolves. Tether is going to come out to try and make things a little bit easier for him. He's looking for the turnaround as Predators indeed get stunned. Salmon Leap lets him immune some damage, but not going to be immuning that flail.
Not quite yet. Rapio helping Predators breathe for the moment. No teleport for another 130 seconds. In the dual lane, though, Cyprexa certainly feeling himself.
Is going in aggressive, surprising, because Vapor's Coast is the one that's often looking for those boxing opportunities in the 1v1, but this time Cyprexa feeling himself. Remember, he had an excellent game earlier on the Medusa already, so why not go for it again?
The Medusa Xbalanque matchup favors Cyprexa simply because the acid spray almost instant clears the way, where Vapor's Coast has to either awkwardly position himself for the poison darts or invest into building up his Ryzen Jaguar. But if you use that ability to clear the wave, now you don't have an escape if you get ganked from potentially Layers Anvil of Dawn.
And he's been all over the map here so far, so got to make sure you're careful. But really, it's Rapio who's the one that's out in front on this Ratatoskr pick. So as long as they know where he is, maybe Vapor's Coast can feel a little bit more comfortable moving forward. As things slow down compared to the pace we've seen in these other games, they've been kill fest. We've had 22 kills in 20 minutes, you know, in some of these other sets, but so far, quiet through the first 10 minutes.
10 minutes, and yeah, just only 2 kills collectively between these teams, but it's going to start to develop faster once these hunters start transitioning into the team fights, when they start looking for the Gold Furies, and the windows of opportunity become even easier to confirm the Gold Furies, where potentially Vapor's Coast or Cyprexa, they only need about 10 to 15 seconds once they're about that level 15 marker.
Yeah, this feels like recognition for me totally that this is it. Astral, 1 game away, a tournament point from closing everything out right here, right now. RvL have got to be feeling that pressure and just want to make sure they don't make any careless mistakes. The Predators' Rage transforms, is going to take the fight here against Wolves, but not going to find the push. We just saw Rapio back and Layers not really nearby. This should be a free 1v1 for the moment, but they're just trading blows.
And Wolves getting the better end of it because he's using his Osiris passive beautifully, getting that extra 2% physical damage mitigation. Doesn't allow Predators any sort of momentum in the lane, and both of these players having Gladiator Shield, but Wolves with a shorter cooldown.
Layers and Inbound are both on this side, but Layers was all it took. Predators ends up falling to the dunk coming out to the Anvil of Dawn. Yet another kill on the Predators, despite having a closer game. AstralAuthority are not going to let him feel comfortable.
A good, calculated, safe tower dive. Layers was the last nail in the coffin to secure Predators' life. Looking for the back camp steals is going to be Wolves, even allowing himself to become further ahead of Predators.
Now trying to chase down Rapio here in the jungle. He is going to be able to find the stun and the flail. Strife is good, though, to slow down the chase from Wolves, so he is going to have to move right back into the side lane. Not going to be able to find anything there, but we did also see Rapio aggress, and I'm not going to find anything in the mid lane. oBoronic seemed comfortable as Wolves has his Lord of the Afterlife forced out.
1 ulti for 2, a good clean escape out of Wolves. Very unfortunate for DineOhSaw that Fly was just too far away for the initial follow-up, but even then, I still think it's a tall task to kill Wolves with only 2 members. DineOhSaw barely does any damage as a level 9 Sylvanas, and level 11 onto Fly. He doesn't have that much burst damage quite yet, only sitting with about 30% cooldown reduction between this Mage's Blessing and the Chronos Pendant. Yeah, he has Shoes of Magi for penetration, but it's only a flat 15. It's not enough to seal the deal of a level 13 Osiris.
Yeah, that would have been difficult for Fly to bring that kill down, as Fly does have his bead forced out there in the middle lane. That's just oBoronic's pressure on this Thoth pick. And as good as oBoronic looks regularly on Thoth, he looks like a whole different animal. Gold Fury now being looked at by Astral. They've committed ultimates. They want this objective. DineOhSaw nearby is on the backside. Layers gets the kill onto Fly. Ohm to silence DineOhSaw. Final judgment to secure. Gold Fury goes over to Astral.
13 minutes into the game, Astral extending their lead by 2,000 gold. Great play from Layers, where I thought that ultimate was a satellite ultimate to see where the opposing rival members were, but he saw blood in his eyes. He went for Fly immediately, finding the kill onto him, where I think that he knew his purification beads weren't up, killing him 100-0 off of 1 full combination.
That was perfect there from Layers. Really great execution from all of Astro as Inbound silenced out the only member that was there. DineOhSaw. oBoronic had the final judgment for the secure. Layers taking care of the other mid-mage and finding a kill for himself. Gold Fury now is going to give Astral their first real lead of the game as Wolves continues to pressure out Predators with no real trouble. In fact, there could be some trouble for Layers as Rapio ends up joining him in in the jungle. Predators wants to come join the fray, but it's already over for the most part.
Inbound, showing a little bit of support to allow the disengage from Layers. Now it's Wolves forcing the issue onto Predators.
Yeah, instead of joining the fray, he's become the fray. Final judgment, unfortunately, off the map for oBoronic. The apple bounces through, but cannot find its target. Up in the air is Rapio. He can't find it, but Inbound ends up dropping. Vaporish Coast, for some reason, is all the way over here on the solo side of the map and gets the kill.
That's something that he's been doing these last 2 games when he was playing the Hachiman, when there was an overextended team fight on the right side tier 1 tower. He made his presence felt, and what a great pull from DineOhSaw.
Lord of the Afterlife comes out, not enough to strip away the Pyromancers. That does go to RvL, but Wolves keeping everybody busy because Layers is up in the sky. He dunks down, gets 2. Predators is going to be the first one to fall. Wall to wall everybody off, and now Wolves can rejoin the battle. oBoronic gets the long-range damage. Rapio in trouble. Stripe is good, and going to let Vaporish Coast come in and clean up a double.
A nice rotation yet again. Vaporish Coast not letting this solo lane go, but look what's happening on the left side as a result. Cyprexa gathering himself all the farms, still keeping himself even in the experience department while granting his team 500 gold with a tier 1 tower.
There's no way he was going to be able to keep up with Coast's rotation, not in that situation, so just stay, push that tier 1 tower. A great play from Coast though to be way over here. Now he's pushing the tier 1 in solo lane, evened up a couple of kills off a great play there from Layers and Wolves that they would have just won that fight front to back, but Vaporish Coast keeps things even. RvL with their backs against the walls are not going to let this be easy for Astral.
Definitely not. They need to climb out of this hole. They need to make a rope, hope that they kind of anchor it properly right at the top of the hill, and then use their last remaining strength to just climb right out of it.
Astral doing everything they can, trying to cut the rope. Maybe they're, what is it you said, putting oil on it or something, trying to make it harder to climb out. They're not letting things be easy here for him, totally. And Wolves going to continue that pressure here on Predators on the right-hand side. But we kind of heard Tom talk about a little bit on the desk. Vaporish Coast has not had a bad game this whole set. He's been, I feel like, consistently performing well. Maybe not making the highlight plays, but he's been doing everything you can want.
Yesterday, he made a lot of highlight plays to end the day specifically with a nice Penna kill. Predator's going to survive this exchange for the moment. Nice. But yeah, today he's been a little more quiet, but that's because the rest of his team is struggling. He's just been quietly farming away, looking for the plays as they naturally develop, which is what you want out of your Hunter. If you're forcing too many things in that dueling, in a 1v1, you can get punished, start losing your purple buff, red buff, and maybe even the gold fury.
Rapio putting good pressure on the Cyprexa and falling in the 1v1. Petrify, too strong, not making up under the tree today, my friend. That's a 40-second timeout. We'll see you later.
Man, what a great recognition from Cyprexa, using that ultimate the same time that Rapio uses his, realizing that you don't have an opportunity to look away, receiving the full 100% damage.
I was a little surprised. I thought maybe it wouldn't quite be enough damage at that point, but of course it was. Layers a little bit off the mark there. Might not have been in range for the Anvil of Dawn. Couldn't find the hammer or the wall afterwards and just going to fall back. But a nice kill there from Cyprexa, who also has been playing consistently well.
Look at Wolves on the left side of the map. Level 17. Goldfear is now due to respawn for another 35 seconds, but my man's is trying to steal back camps.
Yeah, I don't know. He's just down here trying to cause problems for people. Vaporish Coast can't even get his back harpies at this point. Has to leave. Goldfury is going to be up shortly. Maybe Astral just want to control this space, but a little bit too soon, perhaps.
But still, if you control the space, that means you get the vision control. With the Oracles, with some Sentry Wards, this level 17 Osiris, dealing about 30% of Predators' health, forcing DineOhSaw to invest some mana to top him off. Could be a precious amount of mana for the later team fights.
Bull comes out on the Wolves. DineOhSaw, Vaporish Coast, Predators. Everyone's here. Strife off the mark. So is Unruly Magic. Ohm from Inbound is perfect to cut off the aggression. So Wolves will survive, but RvL want the Gold Fury. They didn't bait out much, but they're still going to try and force the fight.
They're zoning away. They reset the Gold Fury. Bobby takes a lot of damage. There goes the Petrify into Predators, but Vaporish Coast punishes the Ganesh that was too far out of position.
Layers is up in the air as Wolves jumps in with the Lord of the Afterlife. Rapio wants to follow up. His final judgment hits 2 members Embers on the backside. Coast in a lot of trouble. Aegis barely keeps him alive. Can't do the same for Rapio's. Coast eventually drops as well. 2 kills already for Astral. DineOhSaw is going to make it 3. Double for Cyprexa. And oBoronic survives the aggression from Predators, who's now getting turned on.
What an Aegis from oBoronic, surviving the barbed spear. Keep in mind, RvL, they pick off Bobby at the beginning of the fight. They had a 5-on-4, which they just lose for members. Astral with their second gold field, extending their lead to 4,000 gold.
I said this when we were on Esports Weekly, but a lot of good fights with Astral start with the call, Bobby's almost certainly dead here. And that's how this fight started off for them, and it goes well for Astral. That's the way that they play. It's the strategy where he gets them to use a ton of cooldowns onto him. He baits it out, and then everyone else follows up. Now Fire Giant are in the sights of Astral, and RvL, there's no one around to defend. 20 minutes in, not even Astral get that big objective.
Yeah, they're not done. They're going to go for the Pyromancer despite barely having any health. Just reckless abandonment for Wolves without any mana. He's basically an NPC at this point, having to back to base, and AstralAuthority are looking to close out this game, Finch, to win their third set in a row today.
All day long, Tully, we've had that championship trophy sitting on the desk. And for Team RvL, it's got to feel like that's just getting further and further away. It's starting to shrink in their field of vision. They have to find a way to hold on now as AstralAuthority with the Fire Giant with a near 6,000 gold lead in their name are just about to grab it and hold it over their heads. They cannot allow Astral to take this set like this, but what can they do to slow them down?
Man, what a good feeling that must be for Astral if they can get to that point to battle through the lower bracket after losing in day one. A lot of teams are mentally checked out after that, being like, listen, RvL, we're so good that we couldn't beat them in the spring split. They were undefeated in their online portion. They're coming undefeated into day number 2, but AstralAuthority, they didn't care. They took out Flashpoint, and they never looked back.
And now they're getting their revenge from what happened in spring. It was the exact flip scenario, except then I believe it was just the game advantage rather than the full-on bracket reset as they grab the Tier 2 tower in mid, Tier 2 tower in solo, now under siege, and RvL are going to be here to defend this one this time. This fight could very well tell the story of who's going to be your console champion, depending on how this one ends up going. Predators jumps in first. Inbound going to tank up for the moment, does get rooted, but Rapio on the backside wants to come in. A great strike brings Inbound low already. The Golden Apple of Discord finds him in the backside.
No!
He's going to die.
No, he's not. He barely survived. Predators dies first in the backline. Layers able to disengage. Final Judgment just barely off the mark. The stun onto Dinosaur Wolves charging on in. Wrath of Terror as the last dying breath goes from the tree.
Cyprexa now on a rampage finds the kill onto the tree and cuts him down. The title of who's the best on console is up in the air, and AstralAuthority want to grab it. Phoenix on the right-hand side now is in their sight. Fly Rapio, Vaporous Coast, the only ones to defend, is brought down to half health. Wolves teleports in. Everyone has to fall back as they grab the right side. Phoenix.
They're going for the middle, Finch. They're not concerned with ending the game quite yet. They have the game in their full grasp. No one from RvL can contest the middle. Phoenix, 2 Firebirds down, and I think that AstralAuthority, they're going to move and their attention to the left side of the map.
This is a really strong Fire Giant for Astral now here, Tully. 2 Phoenixes they've been able to claim. A successful fight on the right-hand side where yet again, somehow, all the important cooldowns are put into Inbound and they win the fight yet again. They've got to stop committing onto this guy. It's exactly what he wants.
The impressive shell timing out of Bobby, just topping himself off at the last second. As he was running away backwards, there was an apple right beside him, which he didn't know about right off the bat, but he still turns around, eats the apple, survives it just at the last second, and it was actually Predators that overstepped his boundaries. He doesn't have his Guardian Mail completed quite yet, and even with the Bulwark of Hope passive, it wasn't enough to keep the Cucullin alive.
It's been tough here for Team RvL in this set. So far, we have seen 7 games played, 4 in that first set before the reset, 2 here now. Only 1 they've been able to successfully win. It must weigh heavily on their shoulders, but they have to brush that weight off and find a way to defend. Tier 2 tower in left, Phoenix in left are all that stand between them and their Titan, between Astral and a victory after it slipped through their fingers in the spring. They want to reclaim it right here, right now in summer.
This is their time to do it. This will give them a lot of momentum if they win this one and the rest of the fall split. For not just North Americans in their own region, but all of Europe to respect their authority.
But I love how internationally competitive this scene is now. For a long time, Europe in these international competitions just weren't close really to where North America were. And particularly RvL, this is the org that for so long has been competitive in Europe. It's a different look for them now, some new players, but this is a level of competition that they've risen to where they can take AstralAuthority to the brink. But can they go all the way over the edge as Gold Fury goes down in their favor? They no longer have Fire Giant. They'll be back up in a few seconds. They'll want that buff to make their push that much easier.
It's just going to be a lot of time with Fire Giant if they can secure it. 4-minute duration buff, granting themselves an additional 20% structure damage for that last remaining Phoenix. RvL are on the cusp of losing their summer championships.
And it's hard to not to notice that yet another struggling game here for Predators as he's down about 4 levels behind MOR Wolves, 0-4-4 this game. Repeatedly, Astral have focused him out by stealing his blue buff, by bringing 3 to 4-man rotations over for the gank. AstralAuthority now with the Fire Giant should be in control.
Outside of what Predators and RvL were not able to accomplish, AstralAuthority were just able to make the plays happen all over the map. And I'm looking specifically at Layers. The global pressure with his Thor is to be respected. The range of oBoronic on his stop is to be respected. That last game, the final judgment play onto Vaporish Coast, left side Phoenix, the one-shot play.
Deleted.
It was a spectacular sight to see. If you're a Smite fan, you gotta be clapping your hands for the accuracy out of oBoronic. And I think that's what AstralAuthority came into this set with. Just the extra ability to land these shots, to make a presence, and keep RvL on their toes. Ever since the first entire game of the very first set, the proxy farming between Tier 2 Tower and the Phoenix, it left a lot of question marks for RvL of like, oh no, what do we do here? They lost their blue buff immediately after, losing their own red buff. They were on the back foot since the beginning of the first game.
Yeah, it was so important for them to come out and get a nice and a big hit, a big right hook right off the bat. Because RvL were coming in with so much confidence after dominating everyone online here at LAN. And then Astral put the questions to him, and RvL weren't quite ready to answer. Well, now they don't have much of a choice. Right-hand Phoenix is respawned up in the air. His Rapio knocks up oBoronic, but Aegis lets him immune the damage. Layers dunks down, and Rapio is already gone. Predators on the backhand side is silenced by the Ohm. Final Judgment digs him a shallow grave. DineOhSaw running for his life, but how fast can a tree truly go? Not fast enough with Astral barreling down at him.
Wolves chasing down their competition here. Unfortunately for Fly, he has to go back to the grave. A great shot from oBoronic to seal Kosa's fate, and it's gonna be on Tia's side. AstralAuthority, they come back with a sweep, and they are your console summer champions.
What a tremendous climb AstralAuthority have had to make here, Anatoly, and you can see the jubilation on their faces. Difficult to make it back, impossible, some might have thought. But dominance is what they displayed here in the finals. They earned every bit of this win, and you knew Layers wanted it. Every time we saw his player cam, he was out of his chair, on his feet, yelling, exclaiming, and they finally have made it here to this win.
Everyone should be clapping right now for AstralAuthority.
Absolutely.
Winning over Flashpoint 2-0, defeating RvL the first set 3-1, forcing the bracket reset, then winning cleanly 3-0.
That's devastating.
8-1 run today. 9 games of Smite, only losing 1 out of AstralAuthority.
I came into this second set here, the bracket reset, saying that at least they'd be playing 9 games, and they made sure that they made it 9 games. I mean, in between, we've had some chances to check in with these players, you know, going to work with their coaches, going, you know, just to grab something to drink. And Astral, they never looked like they doubted it. Every time I spoke to them in between games, they were confident. We're going to get this one done here in 3, get this done in 6. Whatever it was, they had that confidence.
Some smiles even out of RvL, despite after that loss. Kudos to them being able to even get to this far. A lot of improvement for them overall in Season 5, because in Season 4 and earlier days, Europe in the console side of things could not make it happen. And thus far, I think RvL have still made a lot of improvements since the previous season. They need to go back to the drawing board to see what worked in spring and see how they can still make that transition into fall.
Well, we do want to know who your MVP was, specifically for that very last game that Astral were able to close out in such dominant fashion that last time. Go ahead and vote for us in the Mixer chat. We'll get that up on the screen here for you. But how can you not give congratulations to your console champs here, Astral? They looked so strong.
They looked so clean as well. The only time that they made that mistake was the one game that they were just overzealous, and for a good measure now, granting themselves to become the console summer championships, well-deserved.
Absolutely well-deserved from them. Well, we could sing their praises here until we're blue in the face, but we'll go ahead and get it back over to the desk. Go ahead and break down that game, that set for us, and let us know what y'all thought happened.
Thank you, Finch. Thank you, Toli. And thank you, AstralAuthority, for giving us a finals to remember. What a fantastic, before we get into the analysis, just what a fantastic moment this was. Not only did we get the first bracket reset, excuse me, but we got to see the lower team win.
They went 6-1 over 7 games against RvL. Just absolutely phenomenal. If you had any doubt who the better team was, I don't know what you were watching. It is AstralAuthority is without a doubt the best team on console right now.
Just super impressive, and it's about the big picture. Let's zoom out real quick. They were abysmal in some of the games that we've seen Astral play yesterday. Just not good enough hard stop. And then here, every bit as good as the team that won the World Championships last year. Bobby comes in and invigorates this squad. Cyprexa, new kid on the block for this squad. AstralAuthority looked fantastic. There was not a chink in the armor at all for these finals. Just hands together for AstralAuthority, what they've been able to successfully produce.
I'm kind of left wondering what happened to RvL. Did they get a little bit overconfident? Did they not come in and prep very much? Did they really think that after their stomping of AstralAuthority yesterday, they were going to be able to just roll over them again here today? I don't know, but I know that they'll be disappointed with their performance. This is a team that definitely still has a lot to learn at the competitive level, and Astral taught them that lesson today.
Absolutely. I think the spring split, don't get me, the spring split victory for Team RvL was not a fluke by any stretch of the imagination. Astral just came through as a better unit here in the summer split, and RvL got a taste of that next level of competition, because the next level of competition is how good can you play Smite is level 1, but the mental fortitude, the stick-to-itiveness, that all of the other superlatives and the X factors and whatever cliche you want to use, that means the mental game. Yes. Is that next level, and that's something that AstralAuthority had today, and it's something that the Europeans just did not.
And they didn't have an answer for Layers or oBoronic or Wolves primarily in that solo lane. I mean, pick your MVP, basically. I think that Wolves is the obvious runner to get MVP for the tournament, but I think that Layers had MVP performances just about every game as well. It was really, really impressive how this was a team effort from Astral.
We're going to ask you guys, as usual, the MVP of the game, but actually MVP of the tournament is going to be back here by the analysts and the writers here at Skillshot. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see who gets that, because at the end of the day, I mean, I'll tell you exactly, my pick, my vote is actually Layers. I think this guy became a part of the unit that allowed everybody to shine. Everybody had their great moments, but for my money, Layers was the one that set everybody up.
Yeah, but Wolves also mentally broke Predators. Like, that is the turning point of the entire series to me.
Yeah.
Is that Predators just played scared. Predators played like he couldn't play against Wolves, and honestly, he was right today. Yeah. It really is that simple in my mind.
I would not be upset if any. Honestly, I would not be upset whoever wins the most valuable player, as long as it winds up on Astral. They are the most valuable team. They are your summer split champions for the Summer Smite Console League. Let's talk to them right now.
I am here with AstralAuthority, your console Summerland Finals victors, and it was not a short or easy journey for you all here at all. So the first thing that I have to ask you here is just, how does it feel after such a long day to be able to say that you all are the champs?
It's unreal. We knew we could do it, but just saying we did it and now doing it, it's insane. It's great feeling.
With how it's gone today then for you guys, obviously you got beat by RvL yesterday. What was different today? What was different? What was the big talking point? Was the game plan that you came into it with? Why did it all work out?
First of all, I think we were all on fire today. I feel like we all contributed. We all did really, really well to beat RvL. RvL's a fantastic team, don't get me wrong. I'm proud of everybody on my team. We did sit down and talk for 2 hours about stuff. Like, oh, if we go down 0-2, we're gonna rip out the Penta Warrior, or that. Like, we were like, yeah.
So both between the spring and the summer, it seems that for whatever reason, the lower bracket team seems to pull through. Is there any sort of real strategy to this, or is just the momentum that you guys got from Flashpoint?
I don't think any of us have any idea why it happens, but just probably the wins from Flashpoint just give you like the boost, and then just coming in cold might hurt a little bit, and then if you get that first win, you're definitely like you're on fire. It's just.
Well, I got to talk to you, Wolves, because, I mean, your performance here today was excellent. What is it that where you were able to so freely, I feel like, kind of shut down Predators? He's a strong solo laner in his own right, but it didn't look like it today.
I mean, I've always been known for, like, a laning phase, and, like, they consider me, like, to be dominant, but I just played Osiris. That's pretty much all I did.
He's the best player in the world.
Yeah. I just played Osiris, I played my game, and like having the support of my team definitely put me out there.
All right, next question, and I'm going to be a scumbag. Cyprexa, you did that on purpose, you know, just so he could move around and go. Real question, like, honestly, this tournament started the weekend. It's your first tournament at LAN. Looked a little shaky, my friend, for your first tournament, but this finals, you really grew on. How do you feel you performed, and what's it like, you know?
It's amazing. Like, when I first got here, I thought I was going to be, like, nervous and, like, not playing my best. And then after we got 2-0 yesterday, I was like, I need to play better tomorrow. And I need to play better tomorrow. So I just, like, came in and I was ready to play. And then after Flashpoint, I was like, we're going to win this.
Well, as always, you guys have won. But first of all, we have to announce who the most valuable player is. And all the cast has got an individual vote, as well as some of the people in the spectator room too. And it's going to be Wolves that gets the MVP for the tournament. Just to be clear for the fans at home and the players too, it was actually really close. So there was a few players. I would have gone Oboronic. Wolves. I personally would have gone Oboronic, but you did a good show, you know. It's hard clicking left click on Osiris, you know. It's a rough one there. Big congratulations, though, for the tournament. Anything to the fans at home or family members, anything you guys want to say?
Shout outs to Armada for invading us the day before we left. We got our one strap from that part of it.
Shout out to the org Astral. We love them. Thanks for all they do. My family, everybody's families here for supporting us.
All right, then. Done. I guess that's only two people we cared about. Cool. Raise your trophy, boys and girls. Get it over with. But be careful, because it's pretty heavy.
Come on, Bobby. You got it. Come on, Bobby. Oof.
Ooh, he's got it.
Beautiful.
Congratulations to Astral. That's all we got time for here. Let's get it back to the desk to break it down.
Love these guys. Inbound, of course, Bob E. always going to be the mouthpiece for AstralAuthority. And I love that the team, that's part of it. They buy in. They're all part of the system. And just huge shout-outs to Wolves. I've loved this kid since the beginning, and I just love how humble he is. It's so great.
This is, you said it earlier, he lets his gameplay do the talking. He doesn't have to do a whole lot of it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And a well-deserved MVP for him. I really feel like his just absolute dominance really was too. RvL just didn't have an answer for any of that.
Yeah, no, you said it. He mentally broke the opposition. This game gets played on multiple levels, and with that, AstralAuthority, your Summer Smite Console League finalists and champions after the first ever bracket reset. What a wonderful tournament this was. Fantastic moments all across the board. Myself, Aggro, the other four commentators, Taco included, and everybody behind the scenes and, of course, on the battlefield. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week for PC. We love you, and peace out.
Peaches.